See just how bald it is, pretty much. Then you get up to here and it's got a little bit of rubber in it. Come over here and it's like a lot fuller, and like it's a lot tighter there. Ripping my shoes off. This here is just good. So I got the left lane. I'm against a pretty quick car. So I hear. I don't know. I don't know the car. I just have been told it runs good. So we'll see how it goes. Like, I'm looking at this. If he's anything like they say he is, I mean, I got nothing to get a hold of. So we might be going home here too. Hope not though. I'm gonna try not. Milan, Michigan, Milan Dragway, racing it backwards, PYOP. Draw a black Mustang that is also a small block and nitrous, so it kind of equals. I hear that the car runs very well, and I get the bad lane. I know the lane's bad. I always get the bad lane, but I put the best tune-up I thought I could in it. I overestimated what the surface would take, and I lost the tire, and then after I lost the tire early, it just skated around pretty much the whole pass. We ended up finishing, and it was like really close. It honestly was a really good race. I believe he had some problems over there on his side too with keeping the tire under it, but he had a lot better starting line. So now I'm out. First round, duck, gone. Second chance race. We get into the second chance race. They decided to have one, so of course we're there. We're going to get in it. I draw a Camaro that is, I believe it's small block nitrous. So this is two rounds, 2 nitrous cars. Pretty sure it was LS nitrous, but I keep checking the surface and I feel like it's getting better. So I made changes to the car. I did add power. I messed this up. So just to ruin it, I messed it up. Go out, do the burnout. Everything is just, I mean, it's perfect. Other than I got the left lane again. It is better than it was first round. So looking back, I should have left my first round tune-up in it, and we should have went right down Broadway, but I didn't. I made changes to try to win, and it knocked the tire right off of it. When it did, it clicked into high gear, so when I cut and got back in, I made the whole pass in high gear. He was out on me, I think, a car and a half, and I just couldn't reel him back in. So that's 1 day, 2 races, 2 first rounds, and 2 losses. We are done at Milan Dragway.
For the year?
For the race. I don't know. If I go back to Milan, somebody out of the crowd, just some random person is going to draw. I'm not drawing a chip.
Bad mojo?
I can't get the good lane. Like, I've lost so many times there to the bad lane, and they're trying to do things to bring it back around. I was talking with Mike, and they're trying to do things to equal them out. It hasn't happened yet. So you can win in the left lane. I'm not saying you can't. I mean, people overestimate the right lane and knock the tires off. You can win in the left lane, but if you have 2 equal cars, two people that are smart enough to put a decent tune-up in it, there is a variance. I've got bad luck there. I have won there. I have brought money home there. I've done very well there. But a lot of it's luck of the draw. It's just the way it is. I've gotten the good lane and lost in the finals. I've done that, I think, twice. But that's me overshooting. I've got the good lane. I'm really going to put a killer in it, and it's my fault. So that's my Milan's experiences. I've had really good times there. I've had really bad times there. But all in all, it's a good race. So that's our experience. All right, so here we are. It's Sunday. We're back from the PYOP at Milan Dragway, and I wanted to change the carburetor on this last week, but I was talked out of it because we was racing this weekend. So I waited till after the weekend. It's Sunday. We're back, and we're gonna go ahead and change it and see what happens. It's a trial thing, so we're going to take the 4150 off of it, put the 4500 on it, which is the ATM billet 4500. I believe it's still the only one in the country. So we are going to go a little crazy with that. I'm trying to see if we can flip around here and see what we're working with. We have the 4150 on it. ATM Innovations has done extremely well. Happy as can be. I didn't even have to jet it. Like everything's good. I set the idle on it, and that's what has been on the car. Here is the billet 4500, and it sure is pretty. I don't know that I could tune this if I wanted to. Look at all the air bleeds. We'll blow it off with some air. It's got a little dust on it. Back you up a little bit here. There we go. And I'm going to get this fitted on here, and then we're going to go out, hopefully make a couple hits with it, and I'm praying that it is as good as the 4150 as far as them having it tuned in. It's like I said, I couldn't be happier with the 4150. So yeah, we'll know here shortly. All right, here we go. So I'm gonna try, see how this goes, but I got ratchet, extension, 1/2 inch, deep well, crescent wrench, and a little screwdriver. And then other tools we're gonna use is whatever else it takes to get the job done. Hopefully this all goes well, and I don't have to do some fabbing and everything, because this carburetor sets up higher than what the 41 or the 4500 is going to sit due to the spacer to adapt it to the 4500. And then my solenoids are, I'm not sure what I'm going to have to do with them yet to get the 4500 on there. Remove my Loopy Racing Tech scoop, which he has supplied my scoops. I built my very first one, and whenever I blew it apart, he has supplied me ever since. Can't talk enough good about him. Anybody needs a scoop, get a hold of him. LRT, Loopy Racing Tech. 100% sure. We'll have to make some changes here anyway. So we'll keep that there. We'll take it off here. Open that door because it sits there and wobbles back and forth and gets on my nerves. So I don't know if y'all could hear it or not, but we've done away with that. Fuel lines are unhooked. See the low dollar throttle positioning sensor there, a little shock sensor. I got to get my stubby screwdriver to go in there and take the throttle cable off, because this bracket is different than that one. So 4150 and 4500 brackets are different. We'll get that stuff off. I think the carburetor should pretty much just lift right off after that, and then we'll get that adapter plate off. So, got this. Unbolt it. Keep the screw, because whenever I bought that new, the screw was missing out of it, so I had to use my old screw. Pop this off. We take that, stick it right over here. Beautiful. There we go. That. I'm gonna not touch this carburetor just in case I have any kind of fits, because we are still racing this coming weekend. If I have to throw this back on, it will be right back where we was. I don't want to have to start all over with it. Not that it was hard to tune or anything, as it was pretty much spot on. So, but I will keep everything together as it is sitting on here right now. That way it's all there if I do go put it back on. Oops. And we dropped the washer. Get your drop stuff, you get your broken blue point magnet out and pick it up. All right, that's that. Well, I forgot to take the shock sensor off. So yeah, here we go with that. Now whenever I put this on the other carburetor, I'm gonna have to recalibrate this sensor So we'll see at that point how much I learned at Warren the Woods when this was installed, and Garrett helped me get everything figured out and lined out with Fuel Tech. That's way too big. That guy. There we go. And this fancy little bracket right here. Right there we made at Warren the Woods. Cut it out of a piece of aluminum I had in there. And with some snips and then an extension to beat it on a piece of wood to round it so that it fits that. Turned out pretty nice, honestly, for what it was and what we was working with. And there's that. All right, now to get the soft line folder stuff out of the way. I had to get a 1/2 inch wrench. That. Hopefully this all fits on here pretty good and it doesn't give me a bunch of fits. I don't want to have to redesign the dang fogger, the soft line deal there. So I don't think I've had that on there with a 4500 carburetor yet. Off here without losing anything, hopefully. Nope, I just dropped it. Got it, there we go. Washers. Hopefully pull that right off there. There we go. Put it over here with the carburetor. Now, I haven't completely figured it out. So I got this one nutted. I think I'm gonna have to take these studs out, put the longer ones in to be able to fit everything, at least 2 of them. I may try to run this spacer. There's that. Let me try to get this spacer on here. It's got the holes to try to suck it through, but maybe not. I don't know. If I do, I'll definitely need to run those. If I don't, maybe all right. clean up. Nope. I'll have to run 2 longer ones over here. If I run the spacer, it's going to put this up here, which should give me room. But it's like, again, an extremely long runner there. So, things to think about. These come right out. There's those. Get that out of the way. To do this, you want to be really careful not to drop any of this stuff down in the intake. It makes for a bad day. Very bad day. Double nut it. For anybody that doesn't know, tighten those up, and eureka, threads out. Let's see, and those other ones are shorter, so I'm gonna have to go looking for some studs. Then you just pop that loose, thread them off. Bam. Found my longer ones, so those should work to, at least for this side. I only found the 2, but that's how I had back in the day. They were out in the trailer. That's how I had the other ones set up. So we will take those ones out, put these ones in. If I remember right, I had to put some, well, I say spacers, but yeah, they were washers. Stack some washers up there to give it enough to tighten down. There we go. Right on out. Out with the old, in with the new. I like it. Hopefully it works. There's that. All right, so let me set this on like this, hopefully. Hopefully, I said. There's that. Everything's out of the way. I don't know if I can get that to fit on there or not. We'll try to make something happen here. That there like that. It's gonna work like that. So show you a little bit of what I'm fighting with here. Here we go. So this is how I had it, was sitting over here like this. But I also got my throttle bracket. Throttle bracket's gonna be here, so that's not gonna fit right there. I am gonna have to do something with it different. And the crappy thing is, as you can see, it's a soft line fogger, so it kinda has to stay right here. at least for the time being, unless I get all new lines and remake all the lines and put them somewhere else, which realistically they can be located anywhere as long as the lines reach. But I don't know if any of you have watched my older videos. Whenever I installed this, I only got enough to do half of what's here, and you can see how tight everything is run whenever the kit was shipped to me. So I believe they put more in them now because of that, but getting more of that isn't going to happen overnight. Well, I guess it could, but it's not for me. So that's that. There's no way that will fit there. Well, it might fit there. It might fit there. So maybe we can go like that. I don't like it. Don't like it at all. Feel like it might set that up too high to go full throttle. But I guess we'll see what it gives us. We will see. If that's going to pull full throttle or not, guys. All we can do is try. So that's that. We'll figure that out after the carburetor's on, I guess. Now that we got that, those go on like that. Got the little spacers. Makes it really rough trying to video and work. There's the throttle bracket. There's that. And this is sitting about 2 inches. 2 inches lower than the other carburetor. And we'll put you guys back up here on the little standy thing and get back at it. We got that like that. We'll double nut these, run them down, just like we took the other ones out. Well, that one was pretty much good there. There's that one. Get this front one in. It don't look like it's in as far. So we'll have to run that one in a little further. That back one there went in pretty good by hand, apparently. I hope the hell you guys can hear me. I can get this thing started. There we go. There we go. It don't have to be crazy super tight on this one. Just enough to hold everything in place when we thread it in. been a lot easier to do this before I put the carburetor on it, or sat the carburetor on it. It'd be just as easy to pull the carburetor back off of it, but I'm committed at this point, so that's what we get. There we go. Relax this a little, there we go. Relax a little bit. There's that. Now time for this. So you guys can see. Alright, so we got to change the fittings to the dash 8 for this. And it should work. Alright. Get the other ones off the other carburetor real quick. Go. That's right in there. This one. There's that. That. Fuel lines are on. Looks like nitrous stuff is all free. That one's pulled a little tight, but maybe now that that's on. Now what I'm fighting is the nitrous solenoid has got our bracket pushed, so it won't let the sensor go over to meet where it needs to meet. So that's pretty awesome. Looks like I'm gonna have to remake it anyway. So maybe I can just turn it around. We'll try that. Alright, so I know it's a little hard to see. This bolt right here screws the sensor onto the linkage, and it seems like it's not going to work. It's not going to work right with the way this one's made, because the hole's dropping down and then coming forward. So when pretty much the secondaries are a quarter of the way in before the throttle positioning sensor is going to read that it's getting any throttle. So I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do yet. I may have to try to fab something up on this linkage to drop down here. That way it swings with the throttle, or possibly come over to the other side here and try to figure something out. Well, that ain't going to work either, because we won't have the primaries. So it's looking like I'm gonna have to figure something out up here. Or make a bracket coming off here somehow. Not looking good. That stinks. Here we are back again, day 2 of trying to figure out my throttle positioning sensor deal. I got either a prototype or the real thing, getting it trimmed down, but I'm gonna mount it off the front. Back y'all up a little bit here. I'm gonna have to mount it off the front, but this is kind of flimsy. And the stroke up here is too long. So I had to make something to drop it down so that it doesn't, like, there is very, very little room. I've got about probably that much play at the end of it, if that. If you can see, get this in here. It's probably about right in that area. So it's using the full stroke of this sensor where it's at right now. On the 4150, it was mounted to the bottom here. With this, it doesn't have, you can see it doesn't have anywhere to put it. It won't work right there because it goes over top of the linkage. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it folds. Yeah, see how it goes over top of it. So I do have, and it goes like straight down, so it doesn't, I guess, extend it out until it's into the secondaries. But I'm working my way into something, and this right here doesn't, for whatever reason, it doesn't thread in and out like it looks like it would. At least on this one it doesn't. So that's where we're at with the carb switchover. Alright, so I found this. I've got this and some really big, thick aluminum. Got that kind of figured out, but it's real flimsy. So I'm going to kind of draw that out and then hopefully make this to come up and be a lot more stable bracket. But it doesn't have to be super stout. It's just a sensor to slide on it like that right there. So should be more than sufficient. And this is just what I have here. I use what I got. So kind of where we're at, I think. I think that'll work. I'm just using some snips here to do the deed. cover the engine up so nothing gets in it. There. Start trimming away. We have to put a little bit of movement there for some throttle, some idle adjustment on one end or the other. This one here will probably be, maybe make a hole bigger or something because it's very, very little room. Snap that back on. Let's see what we got. There it is. Almost kind of like it. Almost kind of don't. So yeah, now take this off. We're gonna get that all cleaned up and kind of shape that to fit it. Hopefully, anyway. That is the goal. Hopefully without chopping my fingers off. Got another idea for it too. Maybe oblong the hole in the bottom of this. Right here. Got metal coming. That way it will slide so I can do some fine adjusting too. So I'm gonna get this done and see how it turns out. I'll be back. All right, so this is kind of what I come up with. Riveted it right there. That will go right here and it will let me slide it to wherever I need according to where this is gonna be. And it also takes the spring slide issue with only having one hole and makes it so that everything's adjustable. So that's where we're at on that. Sit down on there. This will come up through here, like so. Let's remove that, this, however is needed to work out how we want it. So we'll just knock a hole in it and go from there, I guess. Gonna grind that, cut that off, smooth it out, clean that up, and we should be good on this. I think I'm gonna use a piece of this sticker. I'm gonna take that in the place of this thin stuff and go ahead and take this off and then make it out of the thick stuff. That way I can actually use it to push on. Right now it's too thin and that's liable to cut me. So that's the plans. See how it turns out. Here we go. That's what I come up with for now. I'm about to see if it'll work. I think it should, hopefully. So, all right, so I'm gonna back out of here. I just hit a button. I recalibrated the throttle position sensor. And we'll go back, and that's where we was at. See the little throttle guy? Hit that twice. We're at throttle position sensor, pedal calibration. Gonna hit OK. And then we are going to calibrate the idle. I believe this is correct on how to do it. Hit calibrate, it goes to 0. Successful calibrate. Okay. I might be doing this wrong. There's that. And then we're going to go full throttle. I think we can just go through and do it all at one time. And you can see it go up at the top. Hit, oh, yeah, we'll hit calibrate because I double clicked it there. And it should be good. And you can watch it go up and down. Successfully calibrated, it says. So go back. We are going to go to the dashboard. Yeah. You can see TPS right there. All the way through the sweep. And we are good. That's what I come up with. It don't look pretty, but it is what it is. I had other thoughts of just taking some like stock about this thick and welding it up in a little triangle here, but that's good enough for who it's for, I guess. You could say it like that. I'm going to rebuild this, but it'll probably be a little cleaner than that, but it'll be just like that. Might maybe move this down just a little bit more so it's not using the whole sweep of the sensor. If there's any movement, anything right now, I don't have any play for it. So, but yeah, that's where we're at. All right, I think we're ready to prime it up, make sure we don't have any leaks. Clean the cowl panel off and maybe fire it up and see what we have. Hopefully all is good and we don't have any leaks. I can't remember if I've forgotten stuff or not, honestly. Fuel in there, that's a plus. Good news, I don't see any leaks yet. That is. Running out of empty places to stack stuff over here. All right, here we go. First fire up on the brand new ATM Billet 4500 carburetor. If I'm not mistaken, this is still the only one, I think, in the country. But I do know it is the first one. So we are getting ready to fire this thing up. Hopefully it's as on point as the 4150, and all I got to do is set the throttle. Maybe, hopefully, I don't even have to set the throttle, or the idle, sorry. But we're about to find out. So without further ado, here we go. Yeah, here we go.